everybody, welcome to Beauty Behind the Disability. My name is Leanna, I'm Keelan's wee mummy. Tonight I am going to talk about Keelan's first diagnosis, epilepsy. But before I do that, I'm going to nip off and do meds and change all the stickers on his wee face, as you'll see. So I better go before the monkey kicks off. So see you soon! So, epilepsy. Didn't know very much about epilepsy. Had dealt with it in my own professional career beforehand, but never dealt with it firsthand with any member of my family. So Keelan, when he came home from hospital, I was still recovering, still was unable to drive, new mum stuff, two other monkeys that had to go to school. Keelan was always sort of doing jerking like motions quite frequently. When I first seen him doing that in the special care unit in hospital, I did question it, but due to him being cooled and other issues, he would tend to have like a lot of muscle spasms and stuff due to obviously the signals not working on the brain properly to coordinate everything. So I took it as that was just normal behaviour of what to expect from Keelan. So we were home approximately, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks. 2 weeks home from hospital, and Keelan took his first tonic-clonic seizure, epileptic tonic-clonic seizure on me at home. He started doing the shaking things with his arms, and his whole head fixated to the whole right hand side, this wee bad side we call it, because that's the side that's affected by a stroke. And I wouldn't stop shaking, and then all of his limbs and everything was going, and he went blue, and he just wouldn't stop jerking and shaking, and I didn't know what he was doing. I had nobody to help me there. Obviously I got a medical attention and took him into hospital, and they gave him a loading dose of a drug called phenobarbital. And pheno is what everybody calls it, it's just pheno. Pheno sort of give him a good loading dose, which means they give him enough medication to somewhat sedate him, to calm the brain down, to stop it seizing, because he kept seizuring and seizuring. So it was very difficult to control him. We were in hospital, I think, for about 2 weeks again at that stage, with Keelan trying to figure out what the best route for medication would be for him, what his dosage would be, in contact with different consultants and epilepsy specialists, neurologists, and the words to me and Michael, we call them the big guns. Apart from coming home from the hospital and seeing Keelan having quite a number of seizures, big seizures, the hardest bit that I found was coming home and trying to explain to a 3-year-old and an 8-year-old, yes, mummy's back in the hospital again because your brother's sick and he has what is called epilepsy. Keelan is taking seizures and fits, but he's going to be okay because the doctors have given him medicine. And seeing their wee faces, and they don't understand what you're talking about, especially Finn. Finn was only 3 then. Connell, who was 8, had a bit more of an understanding. And trying to put that in childlike terms as not to scare them and not to make them frightened of their brother, and not make them think, oh, mummy's not going to come home from the hospital again. My brother's not going to come home from the hospital again for a long time. Where am I going to go? Am I going to get sent to my granny's? Am I going to get sent back to my daddy's or my auntie's? You know, trying to explain that it's going to be okay and reassuring them is almost as hard as watching your baby taking a grand mal seizure, tonic-clonic seizure. I find that horrible. So eventually Keelan came home and Fino didn't really do much for Keelan seizure wise. He still continued to seizure quite a lot at home. The children, the other two boys, started to witness Keelan doing bigger seizures at home, and it was scary for them. They didn't know what to do. Connell used to just come running in and go, "Mummy, Mummy, Keelan's doing that shaky thing again, there's stuff coming out of his mouth," which, you know, he was having another big seizure. "Mummy, are you going to go away again? You know, Mummy, is Keelan sick again? What do I do, Mama?" Horrible, horrendous. And at that point, for any mother trying to console two children who are petrified and saving your child, potentially trying to save their lives so they don't choke and aspirate on their own vomit while they're seizing, and get them into a recovery position and try to get the medical attention while you're talking to your 3 and 8-year-old going, "It's okay. Do you know what you can do and be a big boy? You dial that number and you phone an ambulance for Mummy. And you put it on the big one and you put it, oh, it's a good boy. Why don't you and Finn go upstairs and play for a wee while with Mummy so they don't have to witness everything that's happening?" For me, that is the hardest compromise that any mother has to make at any given time. When we went in and spoke to his consultant, his epilepsy consultant, and we got the official diagnosis, you know, the likelihood of Keelan with having the damage and the brain injury that he has, the likelihood of him having epilepsy was very, very high. But someone telling you that and all the risks that come with it, you got this folder this size with all the relevant information, all the contact numbers, what to do, how to do things, how to put him in a recovery position, what's rescue meds, what buccal midazolam is, what, you know, how to administrate it correctly, call an ambulance after this many minutes, administrate drugs after this many minutes, keep calm, talk to him. Inside, I was screaming, how do I help him? I can't help my child if he has epilepsy. Can't, because I can't control the signals going on in his brain. There's nothing that any parent can do apart from follow a plan that the doctor gives you. So you have to put 100% trust into those doctors. Trying to get the right dose of drugs for Keelan is extremely hard, because as a child puts weight on, the drugs start becoming not effective, because they need to up the dose. So I didn't understand that at the start. I just thought that, why does he keep having more fits and more fits and more fits all the time? This is getting out of hand. He had so many admissions from excessive seizures, increase of seizures. If he had an infection, he took a seizure. If he didn't have enough sleep, Keelan takes a seizure. If there's too much going on around him, processing things, new smells, new touch, too much noise, as I said, too many people in a shopping centre. So his first Christmas was horrendous for him, because there was Christmas lights, music, excitement, buzz, everything going on around him. We took him to Santa's cottage and had flashing lights. By the way, Keelan isn't photosensitive epileptic, it's just a processing disorder that affects his epilepsy to kick off. So when there's a lot of lights and a lot of noise and new smells and everything, that poor child fitted and fitted and fitted at something that's supposed to be fun for him. And his brothers were having great fun at Santa's cottage, and poor Keelan had to leave early. You know, so in effect, epilepsy affects his entire family, because it affects his ability to do things. So when his brothers are trying to have fun and do things, Keelan can't always attend, or we have to leave early, or we can't do things because his epilepsy or his other issues affect him.
So how did you explain to the boys about Keelan's epilepsy?
Well, the best way I could explain to Connell and Finn about Keelan's epilepsy was to say to them that he has a sore head. His head is very sore a lot of the time. So sometimes when it's sore and the medicines that the doctor give him make it seem okay, but whenever the medicine doesn't always work the way it's supposed to, or there's too much stuff going on, buzzing and loud noises, it makes the medicine not work as effective. And then it's like a circuit board that you do in school, and you're pinning all the lights up and it goes round, bing, lights up. Keelan's goes too fast, like this, all over the place, like a big puzzle, and then it goes pow, and then that's what causes seizures, and then his head is so sore. That's the best way I can explain it to Connell and Finn, for them to understand it.
For anyone who thinks their child might be having a seizure, what should they do?
If you think your child's having a seizure, it's not, there's 40 different types of epilepsy. So for a child to be having a seizure, it's not just going to be a tonic-clonic. It could be an absence type seizure, it could be a jerk, it could be a drop of the head, it could be, there's so many different types of epilepsy. Seek medical advice straight away. If they're not coherent when they're doing those movements or those jerks or those things, seek medical attention straight away, because you've no idea the effects it could have to a child's brain if they're having epileptic seizures and you're unaware of it. It could be causing them pain, it could be causing damage to the brain that you're unaware of. Seek medical help straight away. If someone's having a seizure for the first time, call an ambulance. Never ever take a risk with a child. Never. Especially not with epilepsy. Definitely not. So thanks very much for watching the video. I hope it was some use to somebody. Thanks for coming along and showing support to Keelan's page. If you want to follow the journey, like, share, follow on Instagram. If anybody is starting on their journey of epilepsy, or they just want to ask questions or have a wee chat, don't be afraid to drop me or Michael a wee PM or a DM at any time. Thanks very much. Bye.